Can you describe at what moment you had experienced the animal joy yourself?
You know, almost that feeling is one that I get performing almost every night, and it's, I think, what's more than any other thing, what's kept me doing this, is that feeling of being absolutely there, absolutely present. And you don't get it every single night, but you get it very often. And in the past weeks we've been touring this record, and they've been some of the most fun shows I've ever played. I've really enjoyed it.
Is this for you now with your new life, if I may say so?
Yeah.
Do you know what will happen in 6 months from now?
Well, yeah, actually 6 months from now.
Or maybe a year.
Yeah. Oh, you mean
I'm not sure how far it goes.
After the touring is over, you mean?
Yeah.
Well, I recently moved to New York. I lived in Austin for 12 years, and I moved up to New York, and that's been a big change. But I'm not sure. I really don't know, to be honest with you. Hopefully, we'll get to make another record. But part of what has changed, I feel like, with me is I've become more comfortable with not knowing. I've kind of wanted to abandon hope for the future in favor of trust in the present, if that makes sense.
That makes sense.
Because, the future only ever flows from the present. And so I want to give myself to this as much as I can, and hope that, and trust that it'll have seemed like the right thing to do.
One last thing, do you feel that moving to New York can fuel your music in a new way, or? Yeah,
I was ready for a change of scenery, and being around so many different people, so many different kinds of places. I mean, New York is like many different cities in one, and I've loved taking long walks through different parts of it, and it's definitely giving me sort of new energy, and I don't know how that'll translate to the next record, but we'll see what that turns out to be.
Yeah, one extra last question then.
Yeah.
You've lived in desolate places, in secluded islands. If you had to pick one to at least...
Do I have to live in the city, or do I have to live on a remote island forever?
What brings out the best in you, do you think?
I mean, in some ways, probably a combination of the two. Like, if you stay on an island for too long, you start to go crazy. And I've definitely experienced that. I think if you stay in the city all the time, it also starts to make you crazy. So it's good to, for me, this also is this conflict between the human world and the natural world, which is still, being fought every day. And it's important to remember that the natural world is the real ground base. I mean, that's where we all spring from. Everything else on top of it is just it's like a carpet. You could roll it up like a carpet, the human world, and the earth would remain beneath it. So wherever you are, I think it's important to remain in touch with that. If I'm around in environments that are too artificial for too much, too long, like most people, I think you just start to go a little bit bonkers.
But I think not a lot of people maybe are aware of the thing they're missing. If you don't know, if you never felt it, maybe.
Well, that's true. I mean, I feel very lucky in that I've been able to go to and see some places that are like they were thousands and thousands of years ago, and having a little bit of a sense of what the world used to be like before people were everywhere is very precious. But it makes you feel a little bit like an alien in the world that we're in most of the time. Certainly the world I'm in on tour, I feel very grateful for that, and I try to reflect that in my music in as many ways as I can.
Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you.